Okay, what updates do you have for us?
I don't have any updates.
That
You know, we had Lucky, our head trainer. You know, we always start with him on our injury situation, and it was the shortest I've ever seen. So that's good news. So I said, Lucky, you're getting really good at this, and so that's good news. No update.
What did you get from the Zoom with MLB yesterday?
Yeah, with ABS, you know, they just covered how we're going to do it. You know, you get two challenges. Every ballpark that has two teams in it will have it. So I think it's 26 out of 32, something like that. And there's two challenges. Yeah, it has to be done right away by the pitcher, batter, or hitter.
Or catcher. Pitcher, batter, or catcher, right?
Catcher, sorry. And so, you know, if you look in the dugout or anything, you won't be able to do it. It's got to be done right away. You put the hand on top of your head. And so I look forward to it. I do. It's going to be entertaining at times. I think it's going to create some interest with the fans. We'll see how it goes, but it's a trial and error thing. And then they'll want feedback at the end of spring, and we'll see where we're at with it.
And I just want to make sure, right, on the two challenges, your guy challenges, and you're right, you retain both challenges.
Right.
And continue to keep challenges until you lose two.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's going to be situations, obviously, a man on first, 3-1 count, runner goes, catcher throws him out, the umpire calls it a strike, hitter challenges it, and ends up being a ball 4, so now you got runs on first and second. That nullifies the throw out at second base.
Does this, it seems like the ABS devalues the catcher's receiving, like you don't have to pitch for him, right? Or do you still do it? And
I don't think it will, because you know you have two challenges, so it's still going to play a part. Yeah, you lose those challenges, for example. Now you can't challenge anymore, so you know you're still trying to sell that strike. I don't think that ever stop, and you know there's probably a little pressure on whoever's doing the challenging, because they don't want to burn up their team's challenges if it's a really close call and they don't know.
yeah. Well, we were in Round Rock last year, and Dustin Harris, I think it was Dustin Harris was the batter, and he took a pitch outside. It was called a ball, and the other team challenged it, and in the strike zone rectangle, it was barely touching the lower outside corner. I mean, he almost could have slid a piece of paper between it, and he was out. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is a rectangle, where umpires are more oval, and so it's like I said, it happens quick. It's entertaining. You know, they said the average time probably will be 17 seconds. Talking to the guys that, you know, have seen it, you know, down in minor leagues, they said it actually goes quicker than that. It seems like it's 5 or 10 seconds, and you know they're back playing.
It's kind of like a tennis challenge.
17 seconds from the time a guy puts his hand on his head to the final call.
Final call.
Okay. Who are you most likely to have to say hey?
Yeah, you know, we're talking about that. You know, we may have to have some fun with it, and you know, whether it's a point system or a little fine system, you know, to make sure we don't go crazy. But again, we're going to encourage guys to use it. You know, it's, you know, try to take advantage of it.
Pitchers and catchers, as well as the hitters, like you want Jonah and the pitcher to be able to do it as much as they want as well.
Yeah, but there's no looking for help. You know, that's one thing these guys got to know. As soon as it happens, hand goes on the head.
Coach, what was, and I don't know y'all's process, but certainly, you know, Bobby has a relationship with his catchers, and I'm sure he spoke with his catchers on multiple occasions last year. I don't know what your exit interview situation is like. If it's like for Jonah, if you and Bobby and CY are all sitting in there, but I'm trying to get a feel from you. What was it like to have the exit talk with Jonah at the end of last year?
Jonah was great. Part of tremendous makeup on a player is being coachable and accepting feedback and so Jonah was great. The things we talked about, when you talk about positives, you also talk about some things you can work on. It's the strengths and weaknesses that you try to cover on players, but he was good and receptive, and he's put in a lot of work this winter, and so I'm excited about where he's at. I look forward to watching him play this year. I think we're going to see a different player, and I say different player. I mean, maybe his numbers, his play wasn't quite up to what it was the year before, but he's still one of the best catchers in the game.
Was it? I mean, everything. My understanding is right. Like you just said, he was very receptive, and when I just talked to him, he said, "Look, I knew it was coming. I knew, I was prepared for everything that was being said. I knew it in my head." Was it still? I mean, you've got to sit down with a player who was an All-Star and a Gold Glover the year before, and probably in the right situation, we should have been talking about contract extension talks with him this winter. Was it at all difficult to sit down and say, "Look, this is how you didn't measure up to who we think you are"?
No, that's part of your job is to coach and be straightforward and honest with the player. That's why we're here, and that's what we're responsible for. And we're not we're not there to beat on a player or just be negative. We talk about a lot of things, but things that you need to work on. Like I said, it's up to the player too to be coachable and accept feedback in a positive way.
What Cody Bradford said, "I just want to make the team." That's a simple goal. It seems like he's got a real shot for rotation.
Yeah,
Not just
I'd
making
say.
the team.
I agree. I agree. You look at what he did last year. Oh, sure. And it's a great attitude by on Cody's part. That's staying humble and knowing that hey, it's competitive. It always is going to be competitive, and you don't assume anything. But I think you look at the body of work that he did last year. I don't know who threw better.
How many spots do you think are open to the rotation? I think Chris said one, but
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. We have depth though, a lot of depth if something happens. But yeah, we're pretty tight on the rotation.
what Cody doesn't do it like Jacob does it. He
What?
Cody doesn't do it like Jacob does it. Cody's 88, 91.
Oh, I'll get you.
What do you think it is that makes him successful?
Well, exactly. You're talking about pitchability. You command a baseball. It's incredible how good you can be out there, and you have a mix. He's got a great mix with the slider, curveball, changeup, up and down. He's got command of all four quadrants, and he's got you talk about the extension on his pitches. He's got that going for him, so it plays more than what you may see on a radar gun, and so there's a lot of reasons why he's doing such a great job. But on top of that, though, it's just how well he's prepared and how well he can adjust during the course of a game. He's gone through that order 3 times, and but he's a student of the game, and he's down the dugout, planning it out during the game, along with obviously before the game. I got to call Peter today. You got to remind me to call Peter today.
I find it hard. I find it somewhat hard to imagine a situation where a healthy Cody Bradford wouldn't figure someone on your pitching staff.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, you're right. This guy what an incredible job he did last year. Gave us length, quality starts. He's done everything he could do to put him in the position to be one of our main starters.
Well, how do you feel just coming in the spring? What's your goals? Just kind of getting things going here.
Probably a man of achievable goals. So my goal is to make the team. It sounds funny, but seriously, make the team. And I'd love to be a starter, so make it in the starting rotation. Yeah, but super excited to be here. Body feels healthy. It's great to see all the rest of the guys healthy, and excited for what we can do.
I mean, last year you said you kind of came into camp and you're like, I am a starter, I'm not. The year before you kind of starter, bullpen, you're kind of back and forth, and you kind of proved that you can stick in the rotation last year. Is that reassuring, just coming into camp knowing that this year?
I think so. Yeah, I learned a lot about myself last year. Learned a lot about baseball and how to get through lineup 2 and 3 times, and I think that was really important for my development, and really grateful for Mike and Bochy and the organization giving me those opportunities, pre-injury and post-injury too. So I'm excited to get moving forward in that direction again.
How much, when you were in college, or even since then, had you watched Jacob DeGrom pitch?
I mean, I watched him a lot when I was in high school, when he was with the Mets, when he had long hair.
Yeah.
So in college, watched him a fair amount, and I think it's fair to say he's probably the best pitcher in the history of baseball when he's on the field and when he's healthy. So
It's got to be like, it's the thing I'm most excited about this season is watching him pitch.
yeah,
How do you feel about that?
I feel honored to be his teammate. First off, like I don't think I would ever have dreamed of the opportunity to play next to Jacob DeGrom as a kid growing up. So it's pretty surreal getting to see him like a couple walkers over and just getting to hang out with him every day. But super excited for his future with this org and just the possibilities that we can achieve this year when he's on the mound.
So he said you guys threw bullpens Tuesday.
Yes.
Were you near him? What's a Jacob DeGrom bullpen, even on February 11th?
Yeah, I think his bullpen was super smooth, super easy, touching velos that I don't even touch in games, which is insane. But he just makes the game look really easy, and he spots up really well. I think there's a misconception that guys who throw really, really hard don't necessarily know where it's going, but DeGrom's one of those guys that knows where the ball's going, and he can put it where he wants it, and I think that's really special. It sets him apart. Yeah.